Okay, so now we're moved into 4C. This is problem 2, part B. There's the graph. They show the graph of the relation, all right? That actually turns out to be a function. It passes the vertical line test. And they ask a few questions about it. The first one they ask is, what was the domain? So if we're looking for the domain, you're looking for all the possible x values. And you can't draw the entire graph. It goes on forever. So you're just asked to look at what part of it and then draw a conclusion. So actually the x values here, they could be anything. And in fact, it looks like it keeps getting wider, and it does. If you looked at graphs like that before as quadratic graphs, that it just keeps getting wider forever. So in fact, the domain is all real numbers. And so I could just write that with that fancy R. Or I could say x such that x is all real numbers, or x is, anything. The range, all right, the range, well, now I'm looking at all the y values, and y isn't unlimited. Y goes up, but doesn't get any higher than this vertex of the parabola. So in fact, the y values are limited to 8 and less. So I would say here that y, such that y is less than or equal to 8, that's the range of the function. Okay, then they ask for the intercepts. Okay, well, the first one they ask for are the x-intercepts. Okay. So x-intercepts, we could just look at those on this graph. Where does it go through the x-axis? Well, right here, there's one point right there, and there's another one here. So one x-intercept is -4, 0. There's another one over here, 0, 0, the origin. So there's two x-intercepts. And you might say, well, how do we know there aren't more? What we're going to do later, when we look at models and we analyze functions, is you'll see there's certain predictions you can make about this function, even only looking at this part of it, if we have the equation. Okay, what about y-intercepts? Well, that's where it goes through the y-axis. There's only one of those visible, and we already listed it. It's actually both an x-intercept and a y-intercept. It's the origin. So that one finishes that one. That's 4 parts: domain, range, x-intercepts, and y-intercepts. Let's erase that. Get rid of all those stray marks, and then we'll go on and look at D, which is a little lower. Okay, slightly different graph, but let's answer all those same questions. Let's first of all look at what's the domain. Okay, what are the x values? Well, it looks like it keeps going up, and this trend continues, so the x values probably don't ever stop in this way, but they go down to and stop right here. So this domain is the set of all x's, such that x is greater than or equal to -1. Okay.